Nakaba Suzuki, I have absolutely zero idea what you're doing. And this is one of the rare cases where I'm sitting back and thinking that's a very bad thing to say. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil. Fun fact, doing soup, have it on me and keep it on me at all times. I love fun fact. Here we are to do a breakdown and review of chapter 224 of Four Knights of the Apocalypse, which is known as Twilight for Heroes. And there are two wolves fighting inside every individual. Two separate wolves. Two. They're the wolves that see an opportunity for glaze. And when they see that opportunity, they get back on their haunches, they prepare to pounce, and they get real excited. Their mouth starts watering, they get happy, their ears start flicking, they're in a fantastic mode. Then there's the other wolf. The wolf that sees the opportunity for slander. And just like the original wolves, they lick their lips, their ears get a wiggle in their tails, get a wagging, and they get back on their haunches and they're very excited. But no one off speaks about the secret third wolf. The wolf that has glasses on. The wolf that looks for the narrative purpose behind things. The wolf that believes in its heart of hearts that things are meant to be greater than just what would please the heart and eyes. And what does that wolf have to say in this moment? Both wolves are correct. Both wolves are true. And that secret third wolf can't exist in the both wolves analogy because there are only two wolves when you use the word both. So this wolf exists inside both. And all three of those wolves are in me right now. So I'm going to glaze. I'm going to slander. And I'm going to tell you why I think ultimately both things, while hilarious, are probably pretty bad for the overall integrity of the narrative. So, chapter 224, Twilight of the Heroes. First things first, let's talk about this gorgeous, legendary, juicy, amazing color cover page, which features all 5 of our 7 deadly sins. They should, they're still occasionally called the 7 deadly sins, though. It's still hilarious. There are only 5 of them right now. I know Merlin's still alive, and then Esmeralda's still alive, so technically the 7 deadly sins are still, a thing. But in terms of the main sins that are fighting right now, it is just the 5 deadly sins, gang. And here they are. This is a beautiful color cover page, though, mainly because the sins, the characters who had transcended the original narrative, are all in a beautiful bright color. Bond, shirtless again, same red pants, as always. You gotta keep it classic. Meliodas, no king coat, unfortunately. I still really like the king design for Meliodas, but no king coat, but wielding Lostbane, smiling, leading the pack. Or really, it's actually Bond leading the pack. He's all the way up in ahead. Maybe because he's the first one to probably die, I'm guessing. If we're using this as, who gonna die? Probably gonna be Bond first. But then, Meliodas looks fantastic here in this color scheme. Nakaba did a fantastic job with the colors. Unlike usually whenever Nakaba does a color cover page, and I'm like, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. Everything looks fine. King's green looks a little bit off here, and maybe even the coloration of his wings a little bit, but still, that's probably fine. Diane looks great here as the largest of the sins. While she doesn't get a full body shot like almost everybody else, except also her husband and even Bond a little bit because his foot is missing. It's still nice to see her be included, because gosh darn it, she needs to be included. And then Gother, aura farming, the only thing they can do. I'll admit, the coloration of their magic is a little bit weird here. I don't know why they gave, Nakaba gave him gold magic, maybe just to help the contrast the purple, but still, very interesting to see Gother so far and small in the background. Especially considering they've been obviously Meliodas and Bond, by creating 2 of our main characters, are technically much more important to the narrative of Fortnite, because without them, the narrative wouldn't exist. But at the same time, Gother has been, the most consistently involved sin. Mel and Bond have kind of just been sitting around for most of the narrative, while Gother's been, running around, getting decapitated, losing multiple limbs, and engaging and saving multiple characters over and over again. So I feel bad that they get such a small portion, but at the same time, maybe because they've done so much, they get the smaller portion and get to stay back. King, you sadden me. King, my heart. King, my heart, you sadden me. But King also does look fantastic here. I'm very interested to see what's up with him. Do I really see all 5 of the 5 deadly sins falling? Maybe? I don't know. I don't know, man. I doubt it. If they do fall, it's not gonna be real. It's not, and by not gonna be real, I'm not gonna be oh, well, they'll be in the capital of the dead so their kids can go visit them there, right? No, I don't think it's going to be real As in, I don't even see Nakaba doing it. I feel like he's going to pull like an Escanor. They're going to be alive, just, nerfed so they can't break the plot as they're currently doing right now. But with that being the case, speaking of the plot, the main point of this color cover page that I love is all the antagonists being drawn here. By all of them, I mean like literally all of them except the Supreme and like Death Pierce, which makes sense because Death Pierce is more so like a Four Knights antagonist. Like he is technically from a Seven movie, but he's really a Four Knights antagonist. But because Tristan and Lance are the main two who fought him. But literally everyone: Esterosa, Zeldris, Fraudrin, the Endura, the Chimera Endura specifically, ironically enough, or not ironically enough, that makes sense. That's the one they fought. Derriere, Monspeet. Let me see. Can I recognize everybody? I recognize everybody by name. Melascula, Galland. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I'm still on screen. Grey Demon Hendrickson, specifically Golgius, who we know is alive. And like obviously not all these characters are now villains now. Obviously are now villains now. Great words. But Zeldris is obviously a good guy. Esterosa is now Mayal and he's a good guy. Derriere's now Thetis, she's a good guy. Monspeet is just dead for right now, as far as we know. Galland and Melascula came back, but they died again. Golgius is a good guy and gave birth to Thetis, or no. Found? I think it's found. I don't think I forget the backstory on that one. I did read the backstory chapter, but I think that is just. I think Golgius just found Derriere or Thetis, Derriere's reincarnation, and raised her as a good person. Hendrickson is also now obviously a good person. Ludishell. Wait, can you see? Okay, almost. You don't see Ludishell, but Cusack dead. Chandler dead. The Demon King takes up a massive spot, which makes sense. He's sort of the core foundation and pillar of the original narrative. So. He is, of course, a major antagonist, but he's also now dead because he really eradicated from existence. Then we have Helbram, a nice callback to season 1, or not callback, but just Helbram, another major antagonist. Ludishell, an antagonist for a time. Gilthunder, an antagonist for a time, which is cool to see. Dreyfus, who was an antagonist because of Fraudrin. Then, of course, we have Tarmiel and Sariel, two also pseudo-antagonists. Gloxinia, who was an antagonist for a while. Who is that one? I need to zoom in. I forget the name of all of the... I only remember Golgius just because he came back, but these are the rest of the Thorns. 2 of these died. Like the woman here and the big guy who's behind the mask that Meliodas one-tapped. They both died, but Joel, Gloxinia... Like, that's my favorite part of the color page. Seeing all the different antagonists they've run over. That's the cool part, as much as I do love just the color in the art for our main 5, or I say main 5, our only 5 sins. But enough of the color cover page, let's hop right into chapter 224, Twilight for Heroes. So, we open up, and we see that the destruction, specifically the much smaller scale destruction, mind you, of the 4 evils, is kind of making Carther go... "Ugh! And obviously not that much, but still he's taking pain from it. Now, Nakaba Suzuki. Well, you know what? I'll get into it in a second. We see the 4 evils did in fact get their heads ripped off by Bon, and Carther goes, "Ugh!" And Meliodas, or one of his clones, says, Hey, looking painful over there. And Carther does explain, having my other halves get beaten this many times, taking its toll. Yes. So, 2 things here. Number 1, what do you mean by other halves? That's not how that works. You have an other half. However, I'm assuming what Arthur is meaning here, to give layers of context and give other halves logic for me. Maybe not for you, maybe you get this already, but for me, I think I mentioned this even last review. I think he supreme deity'd himself. And well, it's really Supreme Deity and Demon King, but specifically I say Supreme Deity because there are only 4 archangels, so that's why the graces were more potent than the commandments. But I think he Supreme Deity'd himself. He has the full chaos portion he was allotted, that he managed to steal from Carther, or managed to steal from Arthur. He split that down the middle, and then divided that half, gave 1 to himself, just like the Demon King and the Supreme Deity were only half deities for majority of the narrative that we see them. And then the other slices, he split that into 4, and gave those 4 halves to the 4 evils, like the 4 archangels were given their 4 graces. That's what I think that is. But the interesting thing is that he's feeling pain. I don't get that. Now, I'll readily admit, we don't ever see the Supreme Deity and the archangels in the same vicinity ever, right? Like, in Cursed by Light, Mael is there, but obviously at that point, Mael's graceless, so we don't know how that would affect the Supreme Deity. And same thing for the Demon King, who presumably did the same thing Carther did. And we don't ever see the Ten Commandments and the Demon King in the same area at the same time. But, like, neither deity notes feeling explicit pain from their powers that they've given out hurting them. Like, what does he mean by taking its toll? Why does he grab his heart? Like, it just feels so weird. And, like, admittedly, it feels extra weird considering this. Y'all remember original series Kath? Like, original series Kath? Like, the completely different character from current Kath, but, like, original series Kath. Where he was so good at regenerating and so transcendent that Merlin said no. He's a being who transcends life and death itself. And I need to remind you, let me see, can I get an image of his arm? Can I get an image of his arm? Maybe? No, I can't see it together. But essentially, he had consumed maybe like a tenth of chaos. Because remember, Arthur, like, while Carther specifically models himself after an Arthur who lost or like amputated the entirety of his right arm, Kath took like this, like he took the forearm, and like the forearm is definitely a good chunk of your body. Like, it's a small couple pounds, but it's not like a whole leg. It's not the whole torso. It's not even a head. Well, to be fair, probably your forearm is probably about the same weight as your head. I don't know, but regardless, it was most likely maybe 10 being generous. Let's say he ate the whole arm, right? And let's pretend that an arm is actually a fifth of your body mass, which I don't think it is. I feel like it'd be maybe like a little bit less than a fifth. Maybe it is a fifth. He had like max 20% chaos juice there. Max 20%. And he was a being who transcended life and death. A being who transcended life and death so much that after being like done this dirty, he immediately reformed himself, no problem. Like it was something light. Like it was something light. He's even talking as he's being reformed, and his mouth isn't even fully back yet. Ready? Potato chip? Muchacho? What do we mean that having your other halves destroyed does damage? Why? Like, and that's what I'm talking about. It feels, and this will build slowly but surely over the review to an idea that I've hinted at in the intro. I hinted at in the Wolves discussion, and I'm going to hint at again later. It's the idea that it feels like Nakaba's making him too pathetic. Just way too pathetic. But speaking of pathetic, we see Carther explain what's happening, of course, for us, the audience, and Meliodas himself. And then he goes, "Argh!" and then lunges in, bringing out the massive multi-tool arm. And I will admit, I do like that Nakaba is getting extra creative with the mutations. This chapter is going to be full of different little things where Nakaba does this with the arm, and that with the arm, and this with the arm, and that with the arm, just to show how chaotic and crazy that the Chaos Wielder is, and also exemplify Arthur or Carther at least attempting to maintain the illusion of himself as Arthur, at least a little, as bad as he's been doing a job of, by only using this quote-unquote free arm. But of course, it's not really gonna matter all too much. As we see, he lunges in, and swings, and then all the Meliodas just weave. Base Meliodas, mind you. Base Meliodas. Base Meliodas clones! Base Meliodas clones, mind you. Base Meliodas clones. These are all at best, because there are 5 clones. Even if we assume that the real Meliodas is among them, and the one holding up the building is also a clone, right? Just for the sake of it. All of the clones dodge the swipe attack. Chaos eyes Arthur swinging a massive arm at them. All dodge. Now put this in your head. All of these clones are 1/10 of Meliodas' power. 1/10 of Meliodas' power. And I want you, yes you, to remember the statement that Kath makes. In fact, I won't even have you remember the statement. I'm not even going to do that to you. That's a lot. Why would I make you remember the statement? That's actually kind of crazy. I won't even do that to you. I will make you remember the statement. I'll do you one better. I will go back to the chapter itself. It should be right around here is when the scat call takes place. Yes, right. I almost got it. 217. Eternal King. Let's go back here. Let me see. His own party. Idemea, Britannia, True King Arthur. You guessed it. There we go. Here it is. 18 years ago, the real Arthur used the power of chaos to absorb me. Foolish of him, huh? What did he think would happen, installing the cancer inside his own body? Well, this happened. I stole that body, the chaotic power stored inside. My only regret is that woman Merlin, who separated us just before I could swallow everything up. And then, just in case you've forgotten, because I don't blame you, it's been a little bit, this is what Arthur looks like now, with what portion of chaos he has left. This is Royal King of Chaos, coolest guy ever, savior of everything. This is him. This is him. Yeah, this beaten, disheveled, very scrawny, sleeping man has a remainder of the power of chaos. That's it. His cat couldn't get everything, but he got a lot. He ate a majority of the body, gosh darn it. This is all he has to show for it. Being incapable of tagging 1/10 of Meliodas' power. Now, I want y'all to do some power scaling. Well, you know what? No, we'll do some power scaling right now. I was about to say, I'll save it. No, we're gonna do some power scaling right now. Lean with me. Think with me. We're gonna rub our brains together and do some Jimmy Neutron brain blast. So 1/10 of base. Remember, base Meliodas is enough to dodge full Chaos Eyes, full Chaos King Arthur. I want you to remember this. All right. So that means 1/10 of Mel and base is already comparable to Chaos King Carther, who has a whole ton of the power of chaos inside him. Likely more power than he had. Wait, nope, not here. More power than he had back here, considering he consumed the entire body plus whatever power he had already consumed by then that Arthur tried to reabsorb. He has all that power plus more, right? So, I want you to remember a little something else. I want you to remember that the supreme deity and the demon king had to work together to seal chaos. Big stuff. And remember, based on the timeline of events, lore-wise, considering the 10 Commandments and the 4 Archangels know nothing about chaos. They never did. Not even Mel knew. And Mel was there at the founding of the 10 Commandments, as he was its leader. Mel didn't know anything about chaos, or chaos, or anything like that. But chaos was around enough when demons and goddesses were first created to, influence or worry the gods about the influence of their mommy. So, what's the important thing to remember? What's the important thing to think of? Okay, so it took 2 full power deities to seal away all of chaos. Let's for a low ball, let's assume that Carther is at 20. And there is at the 20% of chaos, right? Let's say this super skinny, clearly physically deprived, and probably barely any magic having Arthur has 80% of the power of chaos, even though Cath himself proclaims that he stole that body and the chaotic power was stored inside just before he could swallow everything up. Let's ignore that. Let's say he's at 20%, and once again, we're assuming the high ball of the forearm he ate is 20%. But let's assume 20%, right? So 20% of chaos would equal about 1/5 of chaos' power. Actually, just simple numbers. So it took 100% of the supreme deity to deal with. It's 100% of the supreme deity, 100% of the demon king to deal with and seal chaos. So obviously, 200% of the supreme deity. It is basically, since the supreme deity and demon equals 200%, you double it, you get 200%. So 1/20th of chaos is equal to about 50. Wait, am I doing this math right? 40%. 40% of this 200% we're talking about. So Mel, at 1/5 of his power, in base. Once again, we're assuming that this Carther only has 20% of chaos, right? And these base Mel codes are styling on him exclusively. That Mel, just in base King Mel, if we assume that this 20% of chaos is equal to 40% of the supreme deity, and this Mel is all these Mel clones are only 1/10 of Mel's actual strength in base, then do 10 times that. You do 10 times that 20%, which is of chaos, which is equal to 40% of the supreme deity. Mel right now, in base, is if you took 4 gods and fused them together. 4 full power gods, mind you. You took 2 supreme deities, 2 demon kings, smacked all their raw power together. That's base Mel right now. You know what that means, right? For all intents and purposes. And this is assuming this is just chaos at 20%. Unless the remainder of chaos is a, like, and I mean exponential multiplier. Mel's stronger than chaos. He has to be. He has to be. And once again, I am lowballing all the numbers here. I'm lowballing all he has to be stronger than chaos. Why? Because he's way... Remember, if in regular base, not splitting his power up with the clones, or have his power amongst the clones, which are all at 1/10 of his strength, if he's 4 times as strong... Remember, he's 4 Supreme Deities, 4 Demon Kings, full powerful Supreme Deities and full Demon Kings. If he's 4 that in base, what happens when he goes Demon Mark and doubles his strength? What do you think the Assault multiplier is? It's argued very high or very low. Let's just say it's another 2 times multiplier. Just lowball it. Dog, that's 16 Supreme Deities and Demon Kings. Let's just assume he doesn't have true magic. Let's just be generous. He's 16 Supreme Deities and Demon Kings, dog. It only took 1 full power Supreme Deity and 1 full power Demon King to seal away chaos. Y'all, Mel should be 8 times stronger than chaos. You know how stupid that sounds? You know how stupid, like, I hate it, but that's what's happening. That's happening. And you know why I'm really confused and really putting emphasis on this power scaling point, especially for the base Mel part? Dog. Just in case you've forgotten, it's only been 2 years since Meliodas last encountered Arthur. And I don't know if y'all remember, but Arthur was actually low-key putting in that work. Carthor was low-key putting against that work against Mel. He's still able to defend his attacks. He was able to square off with them. Even once Mel used Demon Mark, doubling his power. Almost full forehead Demon Mark too. Using Trillion Dark, Carthor was able to block and react and deal with it. That's pretty naughty. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty boo bonkers. And you know what's even crazier? The fact that Mel's life seemingly was actually in danger. If Arthur got this swing off, Lance did have to step in. Wow, that's crazy. That means either Mel was sandbagging to less than 1/10 of his potential in base, right? Because he's bullying Carthor. And remember, we're talking current Carthor that's getting bullied is Chaos-Eyes Carthor. It was base Arthur who was, putting a little bit of moves, like bobbing and weaving in time with Mel. It was base Carthor. Chaos-Eyes Carthor. So either Mel was sandbagging to literal percentages of 1/10 of his power level, or he got that much stronger over 2 years. What do you think is worse? Which do you think is worse? I honestly don't know. It is genuinely a coin toss. Ask me on one day, I think him getting that much stronger in 2 years is crazy. Ask me on another, I think him being that strong the entire time and sandbagging that much is crazy. The only way the previous scaling makes sense is if Meliodas hadn't sent out a clone to fight Arthur. He sent out a clone that made a clone that made a clone that made a clone to fight Arthur. Then that makes sense for, base Chaos-Eyes, no Chaos-Eyes Arthur to put some sort of pressure on that Mel. Because otherwise, this genuinely doesn't make sense within the skill. Nakaba established already. I know it's been a while since that fight happened. That was always back in the 70s. That was pre the 200s. A long time. Dude, that was one of the major fights. One of the only major fights with our main antagonist. I think Nakaba should remember his skill and scaling. This is crazy. It is genuinely insane how much of a bum Carthor is. And we see that he goes, jumpy little freak. He then sends magical projectiles at the full counterman. And shock horror, as he sends deadly balls of poison, the magical projectiles at the full counterman full counters it and immediately knocks it all back, booming Carthor. Not actually doing too much damage to him. He does tank it, but he does take damage. This is not going to be the last time that Carthor, our main antagonist, full counters or sets up full counter fodder for Meliodas. And this is where the slander and the glaze comes in, right? Because on one hand, I'm happy that I can make a concrete argument that base King Mel should be stronger than Chaos, who has a whole universal feat, right? Like it's not even a question anymore. He made the world beyond. He made the Lady of the Lakes realm. That is a place with infinite magic on a separate time flow. That is just a flat, universal, arguably 4D feat. He made a time space. That's just that. And Mel clearly feels about that. At least you should, if you think the Supreme Deity and the Demon King are together equal their creator, and then Mel should drastically outscale them just based on the scaling here. And this is, like I said, the lowest ball interpretation. Heaven forbid you think Carthor has 50%. Let's say he said he swallowed up most of it. Let's say he swallowed 51%. That drastically makes it worse. That makes Mel 30, nearly 32 or more Demon King and Supreme Deities in base. And then you can double that in DMR, possibly double it again in assault mode. That's cool. I mean, don't be wrong. If I'm using Mel Cross first, you know how happy I would be to throw a 32 times universal Mel, a calm little low multi Mel into other verses. Rowdy, give Demon Slayer, Seven Deadly Sins, My Hero Academia, everything, 1,000 years of training and prep time, and they'd still lose to a finger flick. That's amazing. I could throw Mel into original Dragon Ball, and he'd wipe it easily. That's like really like beginning of, no, not beginning of series, but like beginning of Four Knights Mel stuff. But like really, I could throw Mel into Dragon Ball Z and have him start make. Like he'd probably just piece up the entire original Z run. Like you need to get the super scaling to stop Mel now, just based on what's been established in Four Knights. Like that's just how crazy the power scaling gotten. But that's the glaze. The source of said glaze comes with me slandering Carther, who's just an idiot. And we see he full counters back as Mel is still holding up the building. And we see Carther having somewhat blocked the attack with the arm of Doom, dog. You know, that right arm is used more than the left, despite it not existing. As he goes, how long will you insist on meddling with me? And we see the different clones immediately come in through the smoke and just piece up Arthur. They give him front shots, they give him back shots, they blow his guts out, they blow his back out, they blow his sides out, and they stab him in the back. Like, they are just absolutely bullying Arthur once again, 1/10 of Meliodas' power. Not a fifth, not a half. 1/10 of Meliodas' power is absolutely doing this Carther dirty. Chaos Eyes and all. Regen, whack, everything. He's doing numbers upon numbers upon numbers to this Carther. Being that transcends life and death, mind you. Being that transcends life and death. Yeah. This is great. This is great. It's so amazing. Being who created multiple, either on the high-end multi-galactic or on the low-end multi-solar realms, mind you. Yeah. This is happening. This is happening. Yeah, this is happening. And we can't fight back. I feel like my eyes are being peeled open and just forced to bear witness. Because this is happening. This is happening. And we see, as they stab and gab all over Arthur, and just leave Carther on the ground. Like, they literally stop attacking him. Like, they genuinely are like, oh, we're doing too much damage. Let's slow down, pause, and take a step back. That's literally what they do. They stop and look at Carther on the ground. Guys, you're bullying me. Don't do this. I'm gonna call my mom. Oh, wait, I am my mom. No! But he literally is on the ground, huffing and puffing, as the 5 base Mel clones stare at him and like, is this our final villain? This is the main bad guy? This is the guy who I was struggling with 2 years ago? Him? Are we cooking? And we see Carther demands to know, how long must you fossils insist on acting like the heroes of the world? And like, that is so hilarious, considering Kath is older than everybody here. Kath is like the oldest thing too old. At least, once again, timeline-wise, he has to be older than Elizabeth and Mel. He has to be, because Elizabeth and Mel don't know who he is. And we know, specifically, like, it really depends. Who do you think is older, Mel or Elizabeth? Personally, I think Elizabeth, just because of, like, the state she's in. Like, she's an adult goddess, seemingly. And we saw Mael be, like, a child goddess at the time Elizabeth was an adult goddess. Like, I personally think either they're around the same age or Elizabeth is slightly older. And we know the goddess clans specifically had interactions with Kath. Elizabeth had no idea who Kath was, even though she had her memories back. No idea. So, I personally believe that Kath predates literally even Mel and Elizabeth. And while we don't know, I think... What, was he thrown in purgatory for a bit and then ended up in the Goddess Amber? I think he was sealed in purgatory. I'm not going to go back and check. But, essentially, even if you include Meliodas' time in purgatory, it don't matter, yeah. In purgatory plus the 3,000 year time scheme, it doesn't matter. It don't matter at all, Brody. Potato Chip, you're the oldest one here. What do you mean, you fossil? Like, dog. Talking so much smack. And for what? And not for much. As we see Mel say, hey, well, don't ask me. I never had the slightest intention of that. Which is even more hilarious. He's like, gang, I didn't even want to do this. You became the threat. You did this. I was a contingency for you, and then you made me contingency viable. What are you blaming me for? And honestly, I don't even blame Mel. What are you blaming him for? He ain't doing nothing but exist. If that. If he even did that much. He's like, dude, I did not want this. You brought this upon yourself. I had nothing to do with this. And we see that Carther immediately goes to get a little bit, just a teeny tiny bit freakalicious as he wraps up Mel. All of his clones. He actually finally, Mr. I devoured a majority of Arthur's body and chaos powers here. Woo! He finally manages to actually tag Mel while he's off guard talking to him. And with Usurping Paradise. And I'll admit, that name is fire. The binding spell here is fire. I do like how, even if it is very bummy, I do like how you can see Cass setting up for it here with the very splooged out arm. And then the arm suddenly spikes up and mutates and grabs everybody. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I like that. Very good manipulations on Cass ends. And he actually managed to tag them. I mean, of course, he had to off guard them. But, you know, come on, guys. Whoa. This is 1/10 of base Mel's power we're dealing with here. Crazy stuff. Yo, don't breathe too heavy. Don't breathe too heavy, My Hero Academia. Mel will sneeze the verse away with 1/10 of his power. Ironically. I might be, like, the crazy thing, I'm not even kidding. And now, low-key, 7 Deadly Sins has gotten to the point of Fortnite has gotten to the point of power creep where I feel like I'm talking about the major characters in it, like I'm talking like Goku. Like, whoa, be careful. Be careful, Demon Slayer. Yamcha's breathing. Don't let Yamcha fall in your verse, bro. He'll blow the whole thing up by landing in it. He's gonna pull a dark side. Fall in your universe and blow everything up. Be careful. Don't breathe too hard. It's the same thing for Meliodas, bro. Whoa. Don't breathe too hard, Dragon Ball Z. This is 1/10 of base Mel we're talking about. He makes all your verse. Be careful. But would it be the case? Well, not 1/10 base Mel if you go with the whole idea that he's only equal to his other. This is base Mel we're talking about. Be careful. But we see that Carther says, then can I ask you to step aside already? And we see the Mels struggle a little bit. Oh no, they're base Mel, 1/10 of base Mel's power is actually struggling against binds of mostly consumed Chaos Bane. Wow, that's crazy. That's really crazy. Wow. Congratulations, Carther. You managed to hold back 1/5 of half of Meliodas' power. Good work, bro. And we see, as they go, I'm usually not into this unless Elizabeth's doing it. And even then, I have questions which sticks things where I don't want them to be stuck. And Carther goes, oh, I know, Meliodas. You want to know where they can find the live reaction to this video. It's over on Patreon for as $1 a month. Or you can become a member for as low as $3 a month to get the live reaction to this and all other live reactions to Fourknightsoftheapocalypse. the Apocalypse. That doesn't accidentally delete in the middle of editing. He says, oh, I know, Meliodas. Lost Vein, your sacred treasure, grants you the power of cloning. Your strength gets split up between the clones you create, doesn't it? Kind of, sort of. At least from my understanding of Lost Vein, it doesn't actually, it's not like original Shadow clones where, oh, Meliodas loses power and they're divided evenly. Not at all. It takes, it duplicates half of Meliodas' power, and then if there's just one clone that gets all of Meliodas' power. But essentially, it's half Meliodas' power as a separate set given to however many clones it creates. So he creates 5 clones, they all have 1/10 of his power. That's where I'm getting the numbers from, if you're wondering. But, even still, Carther, you're struggling with a guy who split his power up to fight you. Carther, you're not saying you're still a bum. But we see that Carther says, that's your greatest asset, and your greatest shortfall as well. Now that your power's divided, none of you have the strength to break out. Now, allow me to slice you and all your clones up. He starts ripping outside of another thing that's reaching for the Mel that's looking at the castle. And, I don't know if I am supposed to believe that Carther's just a stone cold idiot, or if I don't know I bring this up again with making Carther too pathetic, bro. How on earth did he forget about Demon Mark? How? And you'd be like, oh well, when he was fighting them in a hold on. In fact, I can even pull the bit fully. Hold on. Oh well, when he was fighting them. Wait, do I have it? Yeah. When he was fighting the original 7 Deadly Sins, Mel never went Demon Mark against them. So, of course he would. Y'all. Gangaroonie. He fought the guy! He fought. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I literally no. The bit, not the bit. Hold on, the bit. I need to go back for the bit. But oh, you know, he never fought Demon Mark Mel, so he wouldn't know that Mel could go Demon Mark. He just thought that he was always using his demon powers all the time. It's like go autonomous Ultra Instinct or something like that. No, he saw the guy use Demon Mark. Did he? Like, how stupid is that? Did he forget? It's been 2 years in universe, and to be fair, it's been like more than 2 years in our world since we've seen this. So unironically, Carther has had less time to forget about Demon Mark than we've had since he last fought Meliodas, and he used Demon Mark. Brody, he was there. He's looking directly at Meliodas' face as he used Demon Mark, and he somehow forgot about it. Like Nakaba. This is our current main villain, Nakaba. What are we doing? Like, why is he so dumb? Nakaba, you're not cooking with gas right now. You're cooking with water. You're boiling the food right now, Nakaba, and the food is Carther. What are we doing? But speaking of what are we doing, Meliodas is like, yeah, what am I doing? And immediately flexes Demon Mark. Notably, for the clones at least, it's first stage Demon, or like maybe at most second stage Demon Mark. It's only one tassel going down. It's not taking up his entire forehead. He just doubles his power real quick, flexes out, and Carter's like, oh no! You mean the thing I obviously know he can do? Oh! And then all the clones just flex free of the usurping paradise. It's literally, it's some so light. It's no problem for all of them. They all break out. They all start flying. They're all free flexing. And then we see the presumable, I'm assuming this is the main Meliodas, the one who dedicated most of his time to holding up the castle, finally stops sandbagging, because let's be real, that's what he was doing. Sandbagging. Flexes Demon Mark, goes actually full Demon Mark, because you can see both tassels running down his face, plus the full forehead being taken up. He goes, oh, and just puts the castle back on top. He could have done that the entire time, mind you. You know what? Unironically, now, next time I stream, I'm gonna have to actually talk with Roman. Next time I stream, I'm gonna be like, do you not believe in sandbagging Mel anymore? We have more evidence of sandbagging Mel. Because he's clearly sandbagging this entire time. He did not need to be holding up that castle the whole time. But no, he's like, let me give Carther a chance to do something. Oh, he still can't do anything? Fine, I'll go Demon Mark, put the castle right back, and go right back into it. Meliodas is an explicit sandbagger at all times, bro. Because he immediately places the castle back, and then lands with the rest of his clones. And Arthur goes, what? Oh no! What do you mean? How are we gonna get married? Carther, I hate you. And I hate you as in, oh, you're such a good antagonist, I hate you. Because you're well written. No, I hate you because you're so poorly written as an antagonist. I shouldn't be feeling this much pity. Because you're this incompetent. I don't even feel pity. It is, like, at this point, it's gone from pity to straight malice, bro. You actually suck. Like not even like the, oh, haha, funny. No, like, you're just actually, like, bad. At your role. In the narrative. Wow. like I'm actually, like, wow. That's bad. Like, that's just very bad. But we see he places the castle on top. All the Meliodas clothes fall down. And then Meliodas yanks up Carther by the collar and is like, dude, you're the main antagonist. You know that, right? As he goes, yeah, you're right. This is not Meliodas' voice. Yeah, you're right. The 7deadlysins are retired. I can't do Bryce Papenbrook. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. The 7deadlysins are retired. Elizabeth! You can't do it. 7deadlysins are retired, but that's exactly why we'll crush you with a power greater than in our glory days. So that's Nakaba essentially giving the excuse of, hey, are my characters exponentially stronger than they were before? Way stronger than they should be? Except for King, Diane, and Gothra, I guess, because I guess they just suck. This is really, is Meliodas greater than he should be? Well, yeah. Is Pawn? Possibly not. But still, yeah. King, Diane, and Gothra, though, they're still base for evil's fodder. But yeah, Mel, this is the line that's like, yeah, I'm stronger than true magic me. Well, essentially, that is Nakaba directly hitting the Kopi. Because a lot of people have been like having copium on Mel being stronger than his true magic self, but like, bro, he's like 10 true magics in base. Remember, at least like if you really want to lowball EOS Mel, in fact, I can't even go. We're having fun, man. We're having fun. Well, let me go pull the statement. Let me go pull the statement. Wait me, bro. Let me pull the statement. Wait me. Hold on. Let me run quickly, grab the statement. But essentially, if you'll remember, even though like the narrative itself directly contradicts this, Zeldra's only things. But to be fair, he wasn't really fighting. He was in his own world when he was dealing with the demon. So maybe he doesn't mean this, and I don't think he fully understands what he's saying here. I'm calling Zeldris bluff. But what I mean here is Zeldris says, "Oh, it's only once." He feels like only once Mel enters true magic does he finally like surpass or rival, or says his power's on the same level as the gods, right? And notably, Zeldris never sensed, unless he senses himself as the Prime Demon King, he never sensed the Prime Demon King. He never sensed the full power version of his father. Zeldris only exists after the Ten Commandments are created. And at least the original demon is created, and then the Ten Commandments are created. So he never actually sensed the full power version of his father. But we see that here, let me see. There we go. There's the statement. There's a statement. I can pull it up right here for you. Well, you see, it's only when Mel goes into assault mode in front of Zell, and then Zell shivers when he goes beyond assault mode into true magic. And then what is said here? That form, that magic, I don't believe it. It's on par with Father's. No, it's well beyond it. Don't tell me this is a manifestation of your own power. So essentially, he doesn't think that Mel is on the power level of half their father, essentially, until he goes through magic, which obviously is just contradicted by the narrative, considering what we see Mel do to, like, this prime father, and DK Zell, and second form DK Zell, and third form D. But regardless, all that being the case, people have been huffing copium that, oh, well, no, true magic is still beyond anything current King Mel could do. Not at all. Not at all. Not around here, partner. Not around here. Well, a power greater than in our glory days. True magic is the power of Mel's glory days. He's beyond it. He's beyond it. Well beyond it, as he says himself here. So, hey, if you had true magic as the strongest in the verse, now you have something above that, and that's Mel. But we see, and Mel says, called our offering to the future of Britannia. And we see that Carther, still trying to war farm, says, in that case, allow me to make an offering of my own. And suddenly, there's a flash in the sky. And we look up to see Halo of Closure. Look at this. This massive, amazing, and I will admit, the design of this thing, while unbelievably freaky, the eyeball, the muscular arms popping out of it, all pointing with all the fingers. And then we see the many different noses sniffing up the air like freaky little beasts as this weird face slumbers in peace as the angel wings go around it. The perfect balance between light and darkness releases the Halo of Closure, a fire name for an attack and a big... Oh, that's a magic attack? Oh, projectile magic attack? Oh, I wonder what's going to happen. Full counter. Yeah, obviously Mel just full counters it back and tears right through it. But don't worry, Carther isn't fully stupid. He made a contingency as he looks back and sees the thing get destroyed entirely by the full counter of it. Suddenly, the kerpops, and then outside of it comes Propagation of Spite. Look, a whole bunch of physical things. So hopefully they won't get immediately one-tapped by full counter. And look, they even surround Meliodas as Carther manages to escape and goes, I can play your number strategy too. Oh, wow. Look at that. Is Carther actually gonna cook? Oh, wow. I'm excited. I'm amazed. Banishing kill. Our main villain, everybody. Our main villain. Right out there was a guy running around who specifically specializes in wiping out entire armies, as if Mel couldn't have probably just hellblazed all these things away anyway. Our main villain, yo. Our main villain of Fourknights of the Apocalypse. A stone cold, certified, registered idiot. Do y'all take him seriously? Like, do y'all take him seriously? I can't. I literally can't. He's dead to me as an antagonist. And I'll make a statement soon. A very, something fine and controversial, some may agree with me. I'm hoping most people agree with me, because unless y'all may have more faith in Knockabout than I do, and I've been giving Knockabout a lot of benefit of the doubt. But banishing kill happens, and we see Mel go, wow, I didn't realize you were this fodder. As Carther goes, huh? What was that? So Carther got perception blitzed by Bond, mind you. Now, admittedly, this isn't 1/10 of Bond's power. Mel's still great, but Carther got perception blitzed by Bond. He couldn't even tell what happened. He was like, what was that? He had no clue. And then he backs up, shocked, stumbles back in terror, and bumps right into the washboard abs and massive pectorals. Bond going, woohoo! Most of the citizens are out of harm's way now. And let King and the rest handle the four evils for me. For him. King is reduced to cleanup duty, dog. This hurts my... I shall forever pay for making that one mistake in that Respect King video all those years ago, bro. It's literally been over half a decade since I made that video, and it still haunts me, gang. But why would you do this? Why would you do King like this? My heart! My heart! But these things happen. This is life. This is strife. Life is pain. Okay, I can do that. But like, man, Bond being so far above everybody. I mean, it makes sense he's so far above Diane. Look, I almost said it. I mean, now he is just so far above King of Diane. But it makes sense that he's above King. No, I keep saying it. No, I'm not wrong. I'm definitely the truth. Keep something out. It makes sense that he's so well above Diane and Gother because they're fodder bums that were never even really Sin Tier, if Sin Tier was ever anything of relevance. But King, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to join the strongest tier of sins, not be clipped by them. But no, he's clipped. He's literally on cleanup duty. Now that the citizens are away, King can go all out. Like, he didn't have multiple ways of small-term damage that he could do to one-shot them. Like we saw him do, literally, in the arc when he was fighting one of the four evils. But, of course, now Arthur's going to get back shots and front shots from the two strongest living sins. And immediately, Carther goes to abuse his authority over humanity by saying, "Bow before the glory of your rightful king!" Desperately, as he screams out multiple different sharp objects from the ground. And he casts this ever-pervading holy light. And I will admit, the scale of this attack is actually pretty darn big. Like, look at that. It basically consumes not a majority of, but a whole lot of the castle, right? So, real big bad stuff. Okay. So, Carther's cooking. Seemingly. Carther's seemingly cooking. Because as we see all the other individuals look over at this light and be like, my ability to obey. My zombie mommy, I can't resist. As they go, such grand, daunting, heavy, girthy, thick, and meaty magic slapping itself on my forehead. And even Pelio goes, ow, I can feel the girth. And even Gila's like, no, I'm not into that. And Hauser goes, oh, I can't even move. The weight on my back is too... Okay, I gotta stop being so freaky in these reviews, though. What is wrong with me? But he goes, I can't even move. And as Carther smiles to himself like, yeah, I'm cooking. He forgets that there's a demon in front of him who doesn't even care. He flashes the sharp teeth and everything, and Meliodas just cuts it all. Slashes it, destroys it all. Even cuts Karanon. Don't worry, Karanon will fix itself. He even looks like he ducks slightly from the attack. Or at least he falls over. That bummy. Ring right through. And then to make me make the statement that I've been holding back, and I hinted at, and I think I gotta make. Like father, like son, mind you. Innocently, Carther's, ellipses, double exclamation point, and he gets stepped on the back. How about you bow down, huh? I've been saying it throughout this entire review. The wolves have been fighting. The Glaze Wolf. The Slander Wolf. And I must talk to you. In fact, I'll even put the glasses back on. I'll put the glasses back on to represent the third wolf that is secretly inside both of the wolves. This is horrible for the narrative. I'm not like from a writing perspective, and like notably, like I say this all the time. I have a degree. I have a master's degree. I haven't taken a creative or proper writing course. I don't have an English degree. None of that. None of that. But as a person who's writing his own narrative, I am trying to be different with a lot of my antagonists. Very specifically, the structure of the narrative I'm writing is very different just generally. In terms of, there are multiple sets of antagonists that are all interlinked under a singular organization, but very particularly, the one thing that my main cast knows as an actual factual is that if they run, because they're after a certain point in the first book, well, really not the first book, they figure it out by the second book, but after a certain point in the second book, they know exactly where the big bad is. They could go fight them immediately. They know they'd instantly die. The big bad is just that threatening. He's that far above them in power, that dangerous, that lethal, and will have shown by that point the willingness to do that to them, but isn't for a specific reason. Or no, the unwillingness to do that to them. But still, they know, of the sheer fear and presence they feel, just in the presence of the main antagonist of that arc, or no, really of the 5-book series I'm writing, that no, we can't do this. That is important. That is very important to have for the main antagonist of a narrative. You, as the consumer of said narrative, should be able to take the main antagonist seriously as a proper threat. Is it impossible to make your main antagonist a little bit silly? No. You can do that. You can definitely do it. You can make just a teeny silly. You can even make him very silly. I think of a lot of like JoJo's antagonists, even of major arcs. I haven't read any JoJo's, but from what I've heard and from the videos I've watched, there are main JoJo antagonists that are actually, some silly billies. Some funny little guys. But also, they're still treated as proper, serious threats. Respected by their own narratives. I genuinely, from just seeing how Carther is treated, I cannot fathom from the bottom of my, not even left big toe, because he's not worthy of that, left ring pinky toe, I cannot fathom taking Carther seriously. And the thing is, the narrative isn't either. And like, let's go with the copium. The copium that you, me, everybody in the mama has been huffing about Carther. Well, he's not actually the final antagonist. He's not actually, like there's going to be another final boss. If it's Kaz itself, or maybe Arthur now, I guess, since Carther is Kath, not Arthur. Like, maybe there's some bigger, badder final threat. It doesn't matter, because we're huffing copium. And even once that, let's say Hardline confirmed, 50 chapters from now, it gets confirmed that Carther's not the final boss. In fact, Carther's going to be an ally, and they're going to work together in order to take them the real final boss, which is going to be Kaz or something else. For 200, and at the time of recording, for 224 chapters, multiple real-life years, mind you, Carther is the main villain. He is our final boss. He is the inciting incident and the motivation for the entire narrative. He is all that. I can't take him seriously. The characters, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. There are some times where in a narrative, I can't take the main antagonist seriously because of how they're written. But, at least in universe, the characters take the main antagonist seriously. And I think that's an important thing too. There's sometimes where an antagonist just doesn't click with me. I can't really lock in on him. But at least the characters in universe are like, okay, no, but this guy, he's dangerous. He's dangerous. He's a real problem. We gotta be careful how we deal with him. That's not Carther. Dog. Bullied by Base Mel. Had to off-guard him to restrain him. Only to get bullied by Dean Mark as well. Being stupid enough to set up multiple full counter fire. Being stupid enough to forget about Benish Guild. Being stupid enough to forget about Dean Mark. To be stupid enough to do all this dumb stuff. And to end up being stepped on by not even a titular character. Again, after the son of this not titular character stepped on him already. And I'm supposed to take him seriously as an antagonist. Once again, like I said, even assuming he's not the final one. He's been all we've gotten. All the way back. Once again, I'm gonna, since I got time today, I'm gonna go all the way back. Dog, realistically, since the very beginning, since we knew this was a sequel series, we knew it was based on Arthur, especially with Guardian of Edinburgh. But, where is it? Here it is. Since the end of chapter 22. For over 200 chapters. Going on, if not already, I think it's in fact over 5 years now. This has been our guy. The fact that I can't take him seriously is bad. It's bad. And like, I'm always very hesitant to throw the lob of bad writing, right? Bad, like, oh no, this is bad writing. But like, I think I can but I think the thing is, right? Typically when I say I'm hesitant, in fact, I'm going to pull a thing because my feet are getting cold, so I'm going to do this. Typically, whenever I say, okay, I'm hesitant to say bad writing, I can think of a roundabout way that, like, I can rationalize something to say, okay, it's not bad writing, actually. It's like, this is probably what the author's intent is. I just don't agree with the author's intent. And, like, I guess what Nakaba's intent is to make the main characters look good. But in this case, Bond's not a main character. Mel's not a main character. Like, I could get making Lance one look good. And also, Lance, just in Arthurian mythology, is my original OC Do Not Steal coded, like, extremely. I ripped that line straight from Overly Sarcastic Productions, but because of course I did. But, like, Lance, he is, like, an OC to Arthurian legend, and obviously, Sevendeadlysins / Fourknightsoftheapocalypse falls close to Arthurian legend. So, like, Lance stepping on Arthur's one thing, because he is a titular character, and they want to make him look good and strong and crazy, but why Bond? Why Mel? I've seen a lot of people say this is possibly setting up for a possession arc, right? Like, Bond gets possessed, and that's why Lance has to kill him, right? Okay. But that doesn't change the fact that Arthur was bummy enough that he was put into a vessel that dies anyway. If we go with the idea that that's the whole point. Carther is too much of a bum. Kath is too much of a bum. He's too unthreatening, unserious, unreal as an antagonist, and not in the good way. It has gotten to the point where I genuinely think Nakaba Suzuki could go on a Yonji Park, Mujin Park, God of High School level antagonist run for Kath from this point on, and it wouldn't even hit. Too much time has passed where I couldn't take this guy seriously. He could go on a Sosuke Aizen from introduction all the way to, because I actually like Sosuke's end. I like Aizen's end. So like all the way from his run to Enter Redemption arc for Kath, like he could just do full Aizen character level writing and stuff like that all the way to the end. Wouldn't hit. He could do Pain level, Madara level, in my opinion, Obito level writing for Kath in this point, and it wouldn't hit. I've been saying let Nakaba cook for years now. Really, realistically, since Lancelot stepped on Arthur, I've been saying let Arthur cook and been making excuses and say let Kath cook and been making excuses. I can't make excuses anymore. This is just it. This is it. And this is how Nakaba's done it. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I can't be fooled again. And we've had the once, the twice, and the thrice. We've had Lance, we've had Mel, and we've now had Bond. It's just, he's not real. He's not a real president. He's a bum. And he's always going to be a bum. And that's unfortunate. Because this is our main guy. We're stuck with him. Until we're rid of him, we're stuck with him. And that's unfortunate. Real unfortunate. But, with that being the case, after Ron says, how about you bow down, huh? And Arthur goes, and I keep saying Dami Mommy because, like, I was going to say Chaos is his daddy. He wants his daddy. But then Chaos is typically characterized as female, so mommy. But then Chaos is typically characterized as genderless, so, like, you'd fuse daddy and mommy, you get Dami. But then, like, Dami means another thing, which goes into Dami Mommy. So, like, I don't know. But he starts literally, like, he's not crying yet. But he's sweating, and it might as well be crying and whining on the ground. So he goes, Daddy! If I could just gain full grasp of one of his foes, then I'd Prandish. Because he's losing in the bit already as he's going Prandish now. He's lost the ability to say B. And he says, then I Prandish the complete control over the power of chaos. He's getting bullied by old relics, mind you. Bullied by a demon and a human. Creator of multiple galaxies, mind you. But we see that Meliodas hears that. Okay, and like, this is the new excuse, right? Like, or at least I'm assuming. I haven't taken too far a look into the game. But this is the new excuse. Oh, well, he doesn't have full grasp over this force. He means, like, all the power of chaos. That's what he means. He's controlling chaos while he created Camelot. I mean, he still sucks at it, obviously. But he's created Camelot. Real tangible place. He just doesn't have all of chaos. But like I said, Meliodas is, like, 4 chaoses right now. Or, like, the low end. He's, like, 4 chaoses right now, bro. It doesn't matter. He's 4 chaoses in base. Possibly, like, 8 in base. I think you multiply massively. Like, bro, it doesn't matter. Carther, you're just a bum. But, and like, we see that Meliodas hears that, and I was like, wait a second, hold on, wait a minute. And then who I think it is. Hey, wait. Is that you, Kath? And we see that Kath tries to laugh. It's like, ha! Only now you notice, you pone-headed fool. And in response to realizing it's a bum, and not Arthur, Meliodas goes, oh, wow, it really is you. Great to see you, Kath. And naturally, Kath, like me, is almost like, huh? And that's where the chapter ends. Now, you may have heard me complaining all that much and think I'm not going to give the chapter worthiness. The chapter's worthy because something's going to go wrong, right? Like something has to go wrong because Kath still is our main antagonist. But unfortunately, the complaints I have still stand, right? Like, as cool as it is to see Mel get upscale of doom and despair and everything unfair through the 10th of his power clones, 10% of his power clones, and it's cool to see Bond do cool things, like banish and kill an entire series of attacks and just style and step on it. Like, it's so cool. It's so cool, man. Oh, like, this is the hype and moments in aura we've been waiting for, man, for the original Seven Deadly Sins. Man, this is so cool. It's at the expense of our main villain, man. It's at the expense of our main villain. I just don't like that. I don't like that I can't take Kath seriously. Is that bad? Is that wrong of me? Am I the problem? Am I the problem that I can't take Kath seriously? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the issue. Because because that's the thing. Maybe it's me. Does anyone and this is where I'll end the review at. Does anyone else feel what I feel? Like, as happy as you may be with the hype moments in Aura for Meliodas and Vaughn, right? And for Lance, right? Let's go all the way back to real. And for Lance, and for everything. Does this feel wrong to anyone else? And not in the sense that wrong is in, oh, everything's going so right, so something has to go wrong. But wrong is in, like, man, maybe you shouldn't really write a story like this. Like, maybe it's just me. Maybe I just haven't read, I know for a fact, I have not read enough fiction. I'm not well-read enough, well-versed enough. And I haven't studied the field enough to say that this is definitively, like, bad or weird writing. But, like, does it feel weird or wrong or off to anybody else? That this is it? Like, this is how we're doing it. This is the way. Main character, main bum of doom and despair. I don't know, man. And in fact, if you're not all the way through this video, please leave Chaos Bum. That's what he is. He's a Chaos Bum. I can't call him a Chaos Merchant. He's a Chaos Bum. Leave Chaos Bum in the comment section down below. I want to thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that link to notifications so you can not miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, you can have a picture down below. You support me for as low as $1 a month. Things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reaction to this very chapter, which is about like 30 minutes long, ad-free reactions to all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, early ad-free access to all my videos, not just here on the main channel, but also on the second channel that go through reaction, link in the description down below. That is 45 minutes to 2 hour long reaction videos. You can get those nice, fresh, early off the press, ad-free over here if you're a patron or member. And if you're a $1 or in all patrons and members get their name listed at the end of every single video I produce on both channels. But on top of that, if you want your name listed and read aloud, you can be a $3 member or $3 patron or higher. And on top of that, I do stream every Friday, 8 p.m. EST. Roll through. We have a wonderful time. We chat it up. We laugh it up. We have a great old time over there. We talk about literally anything Fortnite and everything else that could be talked about while we're silking it in this current instance of this manifestation of the universe. And on top of that, I do my Ko-Fi link down below if you want to drop 5 beats for a short video or 20 beats for a video or any beats at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now I want to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Got the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Redwolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zara, J2MA, Gyomi, Buddha Uda, Yuki Ally, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, Dino, Hector Gonzalez, Tim Thomas, Kilving, Julian Perez, RXN, Nevis97, Logan Guzman, Dead Meme, Keon Stewart, Donovan McIntosh, Hamza Idrisi, BNA DNA, Edwin Idbignoba, Straw, Athenzi Shear, Antavius Mitchell, Superflame Zero, Weary Exile, Window Life, Alex Kenny, Victor Jacobs, Todd, The Practical One, Landon Clapwick, Heath Nelson, CAET, Funny Dude, Jagoda, Plant Crone, Striga Man, Brandon Payne, Black Sage, Multi-Batman Superman, Ramondo Furen, Zalims, Enzo, Union I Metatron, Sheesh King, Joe Bean, Aswin, Hedy Prasetya, Sleepin' John, JMB, Katie, The Young Family, Pastel Pandora, Sino King, NMA, and Karina Hernandez. Then, ladies and thank you to Artline Art Tier patrons: A+A, Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Karina Hernandez, Lil Koto, and Kevin Encarnacion. Then, ladies and thank you to our Inc. tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06, along with Zom. And then, ladies and thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior, AZ Void, and Valden Nissen. And I'd like to give a final thank you to our colored art tip patrons: Walkie Munoz, and Aernesto902 at gmail.com.